You are now locked in to the Sitting Down with the Sisters podcast.
2, 1. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Sitting Down with the Sisters. We are your hosts. I'm Ashley.
I'm Ayo.
And I'm Temi.
And
yeah, welcome, innit?
Did you want to say another name?
I'm so tired.
No, do you know what I was remembering last time? Do you remember when we done the introduction? I said, I was going to say I'm Ayo.
Oh yeah.
And I said I wanted to be
It
in her
was so
skin.
cute.
We should do that one time and then see if people act, if the
That's
audience
so
actually know.
yes,
You guys know
we shouldn't
us.
even tell you anyway.
You should know us
Anyway,
by now.
Imagine they don't know.
That means you're not watching us.
you should even know us by voice now.
haters.
If you listen to us on our audio
We all
platforms,
have
you should know
different-
us.
Yeah, no,
by our
it's true. We don't be able
voices.
to
Sound the
identify
same.
us. But no, honestly, before we even mention our topic today, thank you to everyone that's liking, commenting, subscribing, that's following us on our Instagram and Twitter, Sdwts podcast
And TikTok.
oh yes, we're on TikTok
yeah.
also. Thank you to the people who are not listening also,
Why are we thanking them?
because you're fueling us to do better.
Wow, yeah. The
Getting
haters
better,
motivate
getting
us.
better, getting better. We can't just get better
One
one
time.
time. That's it.
That's it, man.
Do you want to introduce our topic?
Yeah, so this week we're going to be talking about something very interesting. So our brothers over at the Pull Up podcast.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to them. If you don't know, they're on YouTube now.
Get
The link
to
will be
know.
down below. Go and watch them and
They
listen to
inspired
them.
this episode.
They inspired this episode because I was listening to their podcast and they were talking about morals versus money, and they were talking about there are jobs in this life that sometimes violate your human morals, but they make you a lot of money. And they gave the
Right.
example of like a defense lawyer that's like, for instance, they used the Derek Chauvin trial about how like obviously there's somebody that has to defend him, and that job is technically immoral because we can all see he was a murderer, but would you do it if the bag was right, basically?
Right, okay.
And then they were also talking about bailiffs. You know, they come and they take things from people's houses. You
I've
know.
spoken about this with my sister. I can't lie.
Okay, yeah. So you know, on the topic of that, so like,
Immigration.
yes.
aha. Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah.
So then I was just gonna say, like, because obviously we're all women of faith, but you know, some people's morals are different. Some people have different barometers as to how far they would go,
Right.
how much money will influence their decisions and all of that. So I guess first we could say, what's our relationship like with money? Like, how important? Like, are we very money motivated? Is money something that motivates our decisions? Stuff like that. I don't know.
I think anyone that says that money isn't important, you're a liar.
That's cap.
You're
Yeah.
lying. You're lying for your teeth.
I agree.
Money is very, very important, but it's not my God.
Yeah.
So I
Right,
think
yeah,
that's
yeah.
why I'm able to actually just, even when it comes to certain jobs now, where I'm like, okay, I want to go for the job because it's a lot of money, but am I going to sacrifice my peace of mind?
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying? So that's why
Right.
for me, I think obviously I can accept that money is very important. Obviously, like I said, to me, but at the same time, I can't compromise my morals
Yeah.
and my peace of mind, like I said.
And I feel like this reminds me of that Bible scripture where people get confused when they say money is the root to all of evil. Money is not the root to all evil. It's the love for money. That's the
That's
root
what it
to all
says.
evil.
And people
Do you know what I mean?
forget that.
They always forget that, you know, you always hear people say, oh, money is the root to all evil. Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. So yeah, let's get that out there. And also I remember there was a point where me and Ashley actually, we experienced this whole, you know, working hard like consistently
Oh yeah.
and having to decide whether our mental health was going to be at risk of our jobs. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Like a few years back, or whether we would do
I
it
was
for the
out.
bag. Do you know what I mean? And do you know, I'm not gonna lie, my relationship with money, listen, the older I get, the my mindset when it comes to money is changing every day. When I was like 18, 19, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really care for money like that, simply because my parents were always there to provide. I just spent
They
my
were
parents'
funding our lifestyle.
the lifestyle was funded. It's still being funded, but obviously not as much now because
Hallelujah.
Thank you, Jesus. Because obviously we're older now, you know, you got to work and whatever that is. But do you know what I'm saying? So I've realised I like expensive things, you know.
Wow.
I enjoy expensive lifestyle. I like spending money. So it's literally changing my mindset in a sense where I know I have to work. Like I
Right.
have to work, and I have to work hard. I have to be a consistent hard worker because I can't fund the life I want without it. Whereas before, when I was
Right.
like 18, 17, it was just like whatever. Do you know what
It's
I mean?
okay,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I feel like people have always had that. Obviously, have always had that mindset from young that they have to grind. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have that I have to grind mentality from young.
It's like they were in the trenches or something.
Do you know what I mean?
Some people were.
And some people were. And let me not lie, I think
that wasn't.
It's a good foundation to have, can't lie, because then a lot of them end up, growing up to be hard workers and stuff. But mine came a bit later, after like around uni times, because I remember I was grinding in uni, and now but my relationship money has definitely like changed a lot.
It's evolved.
Mine is like a bit weird. I always tell people this. I'm not very money motivated at all. At all. Like I'd rather do something I'm passionate about versus something that gets me a lot of money. And I do think I say that from a place of privilege, because obviously I live in my dad's house. I don't have any bills to pay except my phone bill. Like I'm just living. I've got other bills actually. If somebody wants to pay them. Anyways, like money doesn't, because for me it's like I'd rather be happy, I'd rather be at peace, I'd rather do something I'm passionate about than just have a lot of money. But as I've grown up as well, and it's even been more this year / like late last year, I've just been realizing like obviously there's a standard of life that I want, and after a certain time I'm not going to live in my dad's house anymore, so there's a certain amount of work I need to put in, and there's certain things I need to do in order to have a comfortable life or to be financially comfortable. And so I think my relationship with money is getting better. In terms of saving money, I've always been all right at saving money. I'm always good at like, I don't spend just to spend. The only thing I spend like that is food, and we're working on it. But
food has me
chokehold. But apart from that, like I'm quite good at making my money go far, and I think that's very important, because you don't want to be somebody that just looks at money as something that's frivolous and you can just spend it anyhow. Obviously you also don't want to be a stingy person. That's one thing.
It's a balance.
Because there's people that hold on to money as if they're gonna die.
Or there's also people that do that whole, even though I get it, they always do this whole like always saving, always like having to like
and not having a good
hold
time.
money, and it's just like in the present you're not really enjoying yourself. You've worked hard for your money, you can find a balance. Because at the end of the day you do have to save. We get it, whatever for
at
whatever
the same time,
reason.
you want to enjoy.
Do you know what I mean?
You want to enjoy the fruits
especially
of your labor.
Especially if you're slaving away and grinding, like you want to enjoy it. That's the whole point of working hard.
There's literally Bible verses for both. There's one that says we are called to live an abundant life, but then there's also a Bible verse that says a man that doesn't leave an inheritance for his children is like a fool. So you need to find a balance between the two. I always tell people as well, money, there's a reason why money is like currency. It's meant to flow in and out like a current, and if you're holding on to money, you're not having a hand open enough for money to come back to you. So you need to having a positive relationship with money is very important. Very. But as Ashley said earlier, it shouldn't be your idol, because if you'll do anything, if you thought about for the money,
if you what, sorry? So
you know what?
You want to run that one
if
again?
you're here to, and when I say thought, I'm not specifically referring to the sexual connotations of thoughting.
We get
I just mean if you're willing to drop it like it's hot. That's also not sexual. Like if you're really literally willing to just die on the line.
Not getting it.
No, I'm getting it.
Oh, you're getting it.
The second one here too.
I was like, if you're ready to just die on the line,
hot for the money.
Just
caught me off guard with that one.
I just think you need to having a healthy relationship with money also means you know your own worth and you're not willing to compromise certain things just to get the bag.
And do you know what? On that topic, I have a question. Is there any job that you wouldn't do that provides a lot of money?
There's quite a bit.
I'm not talking about like I think we're thinking of obvious ones here, like ones that are sex related.
No, I wasn't even thinking that.
Oh, okay. Let's leave those ones out.
I wasn't thinking that.
Very obvious. But what about ones that are like quite? That's even like I don't want to say very accepted today.
Yeah, they are.
But ones that are popular.
I've got an example.
Okay, what's the example?
Basically, it's sort of personal, because I worked in recruitment, as some of you may know, like you guys know, I worked in recruitment. And when you think of recruitment, you think of like the broad overview of recruitment, and you think, it's about getting people jobs and stuff. There's also a part of it that can be immorally unaccepted, or you just don't morally wrong, right? And that part comes in, it's so hard to explain how recruitment works or whatever. When you find someone a job with another organisation, the organisation has to pay you a fee, and you get to decide what the person...
So it's like commission.
It's like a commission based. Absolutely, recruitment's commission based. So that's a very minor example, because then you have to decide how much you're paying this person. Are you willing to fill your own bag more over the person? Like how much you're giving them?
I didn't know that.
Whatever the company is giving you, you then have to find a margin as to, I don't want to go into much details of it, because
so basically they take whatever you choose, they'll take it out of not take it out of, but that means the person will get less.
Basically, the company you've hired the person for will give you a sum of money.
Yeah.
You get to decide what you're paying the employee and what you're keeping.
Yeah, what
so
percentage
what percentage you're keeping. So you can literally
Right.
pay them as little as nothing, and you can get a lot of money for your company yourself. Or you can decide to give them a good fair money. And I've obviously working in recruitment. you
want to get your money.
It's the littlest. You want to get your money, but at the same time you want to treat people fairly. But really and truly, yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know
that's
that
like
before.
a little, yeah. So that one's very certain.
I get you.
Do you know what I mean? And other jobs
I didn't
as well.
know that.
There's other jobs, and
Can
one
you think
for
of
me. I have one is here.
Which one?
There's a job that people do where they deport people. I personally deporting
immigration
or
officers,
separating people from their families, like separating mums and dads and kids. Jobs like that. I'm not saying the same as social work. That's different. I'm talking about in the more immigration
Actual
side of
immigration
things.
side, yeah.
I personally, as much as in this country, this is how we do things. I don't believe in breaking family units. I don't believe in stripping people of what they've known and just throwing them into something they say. For instance, you weren't born here, but you came here at a young age, and then some things happen. You weren't able to get your citizenship quick. Whatever, cool. I don't think they should threaten over young people's heads that the concept of them going back to a country they don't have recollection of, or they wouldn't be able to survive
That's
it.
so mad that
especially
you
if
should say
they've been
that
here for such a long
their whole
time.
life.
So funny you should
That's
say
so
that. I've
unfair.
seen like a rapper recently. I don't know if you guys have seen it on like one of these pages on Instagram. That the Home Office is threatening to deport him. He was born here.
What's his?
I don't know his
disclose
name, but he's been here, literally born and bred. And
Crazy.
they're
I
trying
think
to deport him back.
Oh, he was born here.
He was born here, and it's so weird because a lot of them are either born here or they came at a young age, and they want to deport them back. So you think back to the people in power and the people that are actually taking out these actions, and it's just like, where's the heart? Where you reason it? Where's the reasoning? Like, where does it come from? And how do you sleep at night? And like, do you know what I mean? This job that you do, and
So unfair.
So that's what I'm saying.
really
Once there's a
mad.
price tag like attached to something, some people are able to just see past all the human part of it. And for me, I've never really been able to do that, only because I will think about the people afterwards. Yeah, okay,
And
I've
I'm
collected
laying
my
my head
bag,
on my pillow at
but
night.
I'm still thinking about it. And I understand there's protocol. I understand people love to politicize a lot of things that shouldn't be political, like the life and well-being of people. That shouldn't be political. It shouldn't be a bargain whether people have their human rights, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So
I've had to honestly decline a job offer based off my morals, and it just wasn't sitting right with me. For someone that's
Really?
even gone through like
Are you
immigration.
able to disclose what industry
It was in the immigration field, like Home Office sort of thing, but it just doesn't like
Align.
it doesn't align, like it just doesn't
wasn't
sit
making
with my
sense.
morals. So obviously when something doesn't align with your morals, you then have to question the people that are doing these things and think, does it align with your morals, or are you doing it for the money?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I can't
maybe
like
it's
a job that you lot mentioned. That you mentioned earlier is bailiff.
Yeah,
that one too.
that's wild.
You see bailiffs, yeah, and like you said as well, people love to politicize, like, oh, it's a part of this country. It is, you got to do what you got to do. If you owe money, like, it is what it is. There's nothing you can do. I've seen, firsthand what it does to people. That sort of ministry. Let me say.
Not a ministry.
Yeah,
gotta
because
call
that's what
them
it's
a
become,
ministry.
and it's the fact that they've now, to go even further, it's the way they now profit off of it, where they've made TV shows where they record them going to people's houses, showing,
Taking it
threatening
to the
them,
next
take their
level.
homes away,
Making it a reality
even
show.
chucking some people out. For me, like the way they've made it into entertainment, let's say, it just doesn't sit right with me. Like it feels so weird watching it, because you never know what can happen in this life. Like you said, money is a currency, it flows in and out. God forbid tomorrow you lose your finances, or your money has to go somewhere else, or X, Y, and Z. You can easily be in that position
100%.
and so to sit and to mock, to laugh, to look down on those people, and to be so quick to criticize and to say, oh well, they should have paid their bills, they should have paid on time, X, Y, and Z. Have you paid all your bills on time? Are you not using Klarna right now as we
Oh,
Wow.
oh,
No?
Afterpay.
Kalana.
Afterpay.
Right. ClearPay. Rah.
No, right.
Rob,
That's
you know
a
what
great
I'm saying?
question. Yeah.
Like, we're very quick to look down on these people, but then it's like, you need to look at how your own relationship with money right now.
and we also, sorry.
If you look at the counter argument to that, it's just like, I get everything you're saying, I honestly agree, but then
Right.
obviously if you want to look at the other side, it's just like, something's got to give. Like it's got to be paid. The rent, like so, it's just like so. What can you do? Do you know what I mean?
It's one of those ones. It's weird.
No, it is.
And you know, before correct me if I'm wrong. Before it gets to like an issue of it becoming a bailiff problem. There's been different stages that have been gone through before.
There's a
that's
lot
like
of
the final
letters.
result.
That's what I was gonna say before, like we jump on the counter argument. I feel like it's interesting because obviously we live in a country, and a lot of people live in similar countries where the system is not in favor of those that are not in the 1% or in the above a certain tax bracket.
Right,
so if the system is almost plotting against you and not allowing you to like get out of that place and move up, then you also need to question, you're going to penalize me for not succeeding or not being financially stable, yet you don't give me the opportunities to do so. So then
it's basically like a cycle.
It's a cycle. It's not fair. Obviously people be like, oh, but there's people that make it out, there's people that make it out. They make it seem like that is the biggest percentage. It's not.
It's the minority.
Like so many people live in poverty. Poverty in the UK. People think poverty is just like, I don't know, in Africa or Asia or somewhere.
That you see on the
but
TV.
like poverty is in this UK. Homelessness is in this UK. People are suffering, and the thing is, oh, you should have been better with your money. It doesn't work like that. You're telling people that don't have money to save. They can't save.
Look at the own minimum wage in this country.
Exactly.
How they're crying to even raise it. And then you want people to pay their bills on time.
Trying to raise it, literally discussing in Parliament whether to feed children.
And when they then decide to, they're doing the bare minimum.
And because the only reason why
that's
they
another
decided,
job.
Yeah, and why they decided to is because people were putting pressure
onto them,
on social media, i.e. Raheem Sterling, correct?
Yeah.
And
It's
even on the
crazy.
counter arguing as well, people saying, well, they send letters. Okay, but you're sending letters, they still can't pay it.
So now what happens next? They're applying for jobs.
Even if they're responding to those letters, excuse me, I don't have money.
So what do you guys think? Do you then think they should then let it go?
See, that's the thing that's difficult. I think you should make schemes that enable people to pay things off in a different way. The same way, like, you know, before money existed, there was like bartering. People would give their service to somebody and they'd get that person's service in return. Why don't things like that exist for people that don't have money? So like, say they do some sort of work or community service or like something that then would enable them to almost pay it off.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
service,
you automatically go to bailiff, or you automatically go to, oh, we're going to imprison you.
Yeah.
How does that solve the issue? There's still money owed.
Right.
You sending them to prison is still costing the taxpayers money.
Fact.
So-
In fact, it's taking more.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's not
But our prime
ethical.
minister wants to go design his home.
Oh,
With,
Boris?
taxpayers' money.
Boris?
How dare you,
BJ.
Boris? How dare you? How absolutely dare you? LV, Louis Vuitton.
Is it? I didn't know about
Louis.
It's Louis.
He wants to do Louis. Hey.
no.
Boris. Boris.
He's under investigation.
Even what's
anyway.
that woman's name? What's Priyanka?
Oh yeah,
No, is it Pretty Patel?
Pretty
When did I get
Patel.
Priyanka? Do you know who I thought of Priyanka shop?
Ashley.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, Pretty Patel.
Yeah.
She got caught because the money that I think it was like
Taxpayers'
taxpayers'
money,
money.
yeah.
For
She spent,
PPE, right?
10K in Primark.
Primark. What are you buying?
She said it was for asylum seekers. Do you know what's crazy? The people that she said that
Is it
it
not the
was
ones
for.
that she's sending away?
You know, they came out and
Yeah.
said
Isn't it
that
the
they
same
haven't
asylum?
received any of
It's
that
the
money.
same asylum. She's not really
She didn't receive
asylum
Oh.
seekers.
Okay, so
What
let's
she
talk
do?
about
What
that sort of
asylum
job,
seekers?
like
What
people who are in positions of
Politicians.
power and they're
Politicians,
corrupt,
like,
essentially.
Yeah.
But the money
I
that they're
could
getting
never-
is
Going
Mad.
back in it. Do you know what we're talking
Never.
about the UK because we live in there? Let's go back home
Hey,
to Africa.
let's not even start there.
Let's not. Do you know what? I don't know if we should even start on that because we have politicians. Yeah,
That's a
they're
whole
doing a
other
mad
episode.
job. They don't care for their country, but their families, their children are coming here to the UK to go
Study.
to school. Let's talk about that.
Never. I could
Right.
never. Do you know how sickening it is? Yeah, that
The
you
money
can
that they're
sit
getting is mad, you
in
know.
your
And
house.
They're doing it blatantly right in front of our eyes. Like we're seeing it all happen.
Said, I don't give a heck.
Mate, it was the
The Nigerian, what's his name? President, what's his name? Buhari is coming here for treatment. What about your citizens back home? They can't come for the NHS here. So how are they?
people are
gonna
literally
afford it?
dying.
Like whatever illness he has, because he's
whatever
always
sickness.
ill every 2 years. So he has to come to the UK here for treatment.
It's just embarrassing.
So why
because-
do you blame Nigerians that are standing in front of his house protesting?
Oh,
I don't blame
God.
them.
That's actually a slap in the face.
And then when you ask them these questions, like, okay, so how do you feel? They don't even know how to answer.
Why
you.
can't he
They'll be
get?
giving you political
why can't he
answer.
get the treatment in Nigeria?
It's a very good question.
Why can't his children go to school? in Nigeria?
Very great question.
So jobs like that, it's just like when people get into politics, yeah. I I'm someone that always tries to give people benefit of the doubt. So when I see people trying to get into politics, I'm here assuming you're trying to go in there and make a difference. Yeah, but you end up disappointing every single time.
Every single time.
So you are in it for the money.
It's like people reach a certain tax bracket and they forget that they're human beings.
And we're here thinking, the majority.
Do you think that's what it is then?
Yeah, for
like
sure.
When they're getting a certain amount of money,
it changes.
It's like people's morals go.
That's what I was about to say.
Why is that? Like,
I was about to
what
say.
Is it the actual money, or is it that it's always been there inside of them?
This is what I was going to say. So we always assume, oh yeah, look at you now, you're in power. You're changing your morals, and the morals was never really there.
Yeah, people say money magnifies your true personality.
Facts. That's what I was getting at. That's the mindset you've always had. I'm not gonna lie, you've been a greedy goat from the get go.
Wow,
the money is just there now.
It's interesting because we always joke.
Yeah.
We always joke about these parties that these celebrities that are in the upper echelon, the 1% go to, and if you know about those parties, they're part of the people that can be so morally corrupt. I can't even believe it. So an example would be Jeffrey Epstein. Everybody knows about that story. There's a documentary on Netflix. Nobody even knows how he got his money, but when you watch that documentary, is he got money through like very weird schemes.
Let's talk about Trump too.
Exactly. And then when he got to that top 1%, the things that he was doing and the fact that the FBI, he could tell the FBI to leave him alone, they left him alone. There's a certain amount of money that almost
the morals just gives you.
It just morals then don't become a thing.
The power it gives you is so
crazy.
Evil.
He was able to pay for underage girls to be his present. He was able to have these girls take them to an island. I think nobody questioned anything.
This is what I mean. I think it's so scary when you get to a certain level of power and fame, and when you have a certain amount of money, the things you can get away with in this life. It is mad. You can get away with multiple murder, not just one. You can get away with all murder.
And I think that's why the Bible and like Christian principles say that the love of money is the root of all evil. Because if you can afford to almost be a villain but have it look like you're not, there's so many people that will do it.
Evil.
And the amount of atrocities that exist where there's a lot of money. So if it's the sex industry, for instance, the atrocities that happen behind the scenes because of money. It's things like that you start to see. Yeah. People are literally doing things that you would never even imagine because of money.
And a lot of people have so much to say, middle class or, just people, average people. They have so much to say about, all these people with a lot of money and how they treat their money. You've got when you see these things, I believe you've got to question yourself, look within your heart and ask yourself, if I ever got to that part of life, let's say God decides to bless me one day and I become a billionaire tomorrow, whatever the situation is, look within your heart, would you be doing the same thing worse than what they're doing, or would you use your money to try and better the world? Because it's easier said than done, because you're not in that position. Facts. Do you know what I mean? We can point fingers, we can do all these things, like for example, like let's use an example that's not as intense. Let's look at Cardi B, for example. Yeah, she came from nothing, literally. She used to strip and now she has all this money, all this fame. And you know how people are on social media, her fans, or like just normal people that have no money, broke people, how they have so much to say about, oh yeah, like Cardi's doing this with her money, she's doing that with her money. Really and truly, if you did get that same opportunity, what would you be doing?
The money would even be finished the next day. Really
well,
and truly.
You know what I mean? So it's just like,
look
within your heart.
No, it's true.
Look within your heart and make sure, because by God's grace, we're all praying for that type of blessing. Do you know what I mean? So one day, prepare yourself for when it comes.
Do you know? So by the time,
prepare yourself for what you're praying for, because one day when it does come, which it will by God's grace, you know how to move.
Yeah,
because people love to pocket watch. That's what it's called.
But you know what's also very interesting? Over time, like I remember when you're growing up, everybody's like, I want to be a millionaire, I want to be a billionaire. After a while, I started to realize I actually don't want to. And I say this because, like, I want to be wealthy, I want to be comfortable, but I don't aspire to a certain level of wealth that I used to. And the reason I say that is because when I look at people like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, all these people that billionaires, and you think, oh, why don't their money, even just like a fifth of their money, their wealth, could literally fix poverty in the whole world. I hope people realize that. But then you then ask the question, you beg the question, oh, okay, why haven't they? And then you see that there's so many corrupt systems that exist. Exactly. It doesn't work like that. People have literally been killed off for trying to do initiatives like that. Absolutely. So for me, the reason why I then changed my mind about wanting to be, I genuinely believe when you start to make a certain amount of money, you start to go into and run in circles that become a bit strange.
Yeah,
and
you
I never
become a
want to lose.
target.
I actually never want to lose my humanity. I'd rather not have that amount of money than lose my humanity. I'd rather that exchange.
Okay,
Because once you get to that place, it's very dark.
Very dark.
It's very dark.
Even when you look at these people's interviews, they just like some of the things that they say, their responses to certain questions.
Crazy.
They just don't look human. They look
dark.
very robotic.
Because a lot of the time they don't prepare for it. They
That's
think
it.
when they, and do you know what it is? Let's look at the plus side as well. Some of these people, it's not as if they're evil, or they always have, some of them do have good intentions, when they're normal and before they get up to that level of fame, they want to help people, they want to do this, but they realize when they get to that level, it's not as easy as it seems, because there are people at the top that's going to stop them, and then instead of actually doing what they aim to do, they just conform.
There's agendas in this world. The same way, do you know one of the biggest industries in this world is the medication and pharmaceutical industry,
yeah.
because people are making money out of people being sick. So now say that a cure comes about. Why would somebody want to cure something?
The cure
if
we're thinking about has
so
come
much
about.
money.
Why wouldn't people?
We just
people would rather keep making money off treatment than give the cure. That's the world we live in. So that's what I'm saying. And for me, I don't want to contribute to stuff like that personally. I'd rather not be at that place
at all,
because I don't know what's in the water there. I don't know. Like Jeffrey Epstein, a good example, mate. In his document, especially when you talk about stuff like witchcraft. Now, this is a great example. Yeah, people think witchcraft is only happening in Africa and Asia and places where that is the third world country. He, from his own mouth, said to an editor of Harper's Bazaar that if she reports on him in her magazine, he's going to get a witch doctor to kill her unborn twins. She was pregnant with twins at that moment. Yeah, people think it's only people that are only in the third world countries that are dealing with demons and Satan. I hope you know that it's in every realm of life,
everywhere.
So you do need to be careful what you aspire for. I actually even think it's interesting that we didn't talk about other jobs that, when you're growing up the way we grew up in, like very normal settings, like working class background, like jobs that people compromise morals for money. Another example would be selling drugs or fraud. That one is more common, and obviously people kind of turn a blind eye to that.
Sorry,
why are you laughing?
Why are you laughing?
Anyway, people turn a blind eye to that, but that's where stuff like that starts. That's where you see people's
has
morals
become
so normal.
It's like it's now it's infiltrated in our everyday lives. So, for example, on Snapchat, you'll see half price PLT, half price Sainsbury's, half price.
You would see
X,
it
Y,
rather
and
than
Z.
question it. You just skip past.
Yeah,
it's so
you're just
normal.
like,
you don't
someone
think
just promoting half price, like it is what it is. But it's like this is where we've got to. This is
it's
where
so
we
normal. And that's where it starts. If your morals are compromised at this lower level, it's not even lower level, because you're affecting people's families. You're stealing money from people you don't even know. So,
but every man for themselves, right?
and I think that is where the morals and money conversation starts, is the individualism that people have. It's about me. Nobody thinks about anybody else anymore. So because nobody's thinking about other people, they're just like, oh no, it's just a job. This is just how I make my living.
It's fine.
They don't think about the people.
They wouldn't think about me if they were in my shoes.
They only think about the reward. They're not actually thinking about how it's affecting other people.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm not gonna lie. This whole every man for themselves, I hear it. I'm not gonna lie, to some extent, because really and truly, everyone's trying to help their families before they help other people. All of that, cool. But when it comes to this discussion in terms of morals, then that's when it becomes like, are you willing to go? How far are you willing to go?
Mate, a good
example. How far are you
example
willing to go?
We even need to say, because I actually wanted to say this at the top of the podcast, but I forgot. I actually wanted to say a big condolences to the family of Jimmy, the guy who gave his life for the woman at the
that
bridge.
sacrificed his life.
Because you don't see that that story proper upset me, because I even thought about myself. I said, if that was me on that bridge, would I have done that? I can't even cap to you lot. I probably wouldn't.
I wouldn't have done
I can't
it.
swim.
We can't swim. That's true.
I can.
What am I jumping in?
But I'm not even gonna lie. I'm sorry. If I could, I don't think I would have.
I would have
called the police. I would have tried to help, but I don't think I would have ever jumped. And that's why, for me, like, that's somebody that you can see cared about people.
Facts.
That's lost
All his
in
friends,
that generation. This
even
generation,
family, all of them have said the same thing.
Yeah.
About
They've
him. That's just how
co-signed
he's
the fact that that's
been.
how he is. Even Harry's Federation, the director came out and was like, they've spoken to his teachers and they're not surprised that he did that, because that's the kind of person that he is. And you have to ask yourself, would people be able to co-sign something like that about you? The fact that you're selfless, the fact that you have the mind and the heart for people. Because I think we've gotten to a place, like even the whole every man for themselves, we've gotten to a place where people are so cold and people are so, there's this whole narrative and this whole ministry of, F everybody, I'm going to do what I want to do, I don't care about people. But like, I don't think it's not normal.
It's not
normal.
It's not nice.
When did we lose the heart to actually look out for our brothers and sisters? Like, it's just, do you get what I'm saying?
And
Like,
nobody's saying you have to jump, because I'm not, as we said, we probably wouldn't have. Not that we wouldn't have helped in any other way, but it's more about your heart for humanity. Where is that? Because people would judge and question that this generation is actually the most selfless generation. And seeing examples like that just warms my heart all the time, because I'm just like, you would think somebody that age wouldn't. You'd think somebody like that, obviously we're also black, like this is not our country. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know.
Look at the way they are treating minorities and cases
But the
of
fact
people
that
missing.
he didn't give a second thought. When you hear his best friend talk about
speak
it,
about it.
that story
made me
broke my
cry.
heart.
Such a
The way
sad
he said
story.
the look on his face was like, yeah, he's on the phone to the police, but he has to do
He used to
something
do something
right now.
and it just made me think, like, do I turn a blind eye to people in the street? Because I'm very big on people. I've always been big on people, but it's more about the daily, day-to-day practical things. Do you turn your nose up at homeless people? Because that's where
People
it
that you
starts
don't
when it
know.
comes to morals.
Right.
When it's those little things in your everyday life, those are the parts of your life you have to look at. Because I have to look at that in myself. I'm like, do I really? Do you know what I mean? And then that then translates to how you spend your money.
Facts.
Because it starts in the heart and then it flows.
Right.
As the Bible says, the issues of life flow
From your heart.
from the heart.
R.I.P. Jimmy.
R.I.P. Jimmy.
Honestly,
May your soul rest in
condolences to his
perfect
family
peace.
also.
Yes. Auntie and uncle, our thoughts and prayers are with you, because
Honestly.
when I saw their interview, I don't even
When I
think
saw
you
his
understand.
dad,
Do you know what doesn't sit well with me? Why is it when something tragic happens, why are they putting cameras in their faces? Why are they going to their houses?
I know.
Find
And then
out
that's
weird.
the
I even
the
have a
news.
question, but I'll say it off
wait,
the
that's even
podcast.
another job, morals or money. The paparazzi
Paparazzi.
or the media.
Press, look how they've treated Meghan Markle and all these things.
Kobe Bryant, that they went to go and
before
report
the family even
all
know
of that
about it.
stuff there.
That one. Be careful,
What
because
was
where
your
y'all
question,
going.
though? What was your question?
I'll say it off the podcast. It's fine.
Okay.
She don't want you all to hear.
Yeah, nah.
I'll say it later.
But yeah, guys,
So
I
this
think
is not a whole
different discussion.
Yeah, so
Okay.
don't worry.
But yeah, guys, this was just another discussion. I think it's quite a solemn one, but it's quite a reflective one, because I think it's important to know where you stand
Yeah.
when it comes to morals. We might all think we're very moral human beings, and it's only in situations where you have to walk like you're talking that you'll see whether we do. So please share your thoughts and comments in the
keep the discussion going down below.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Let us know.
Let us know what you think.
Yes.
And we'll see you
next week.
soon.
Bye, guys.